Let's start with the indexes. TSX, it has been on uptrend this week, and on Friday it closed almost at the same level that it closed on Thursday. Both Williams R CCI are in oversold, with CCI turning downward, which I had expected, and I think I had messaged in the group as well that we might see TSX falling from around this level. So basically, I was looking at weekly chart as well and was saying that it's about to reach an oversold even in weekly chart. So when I had analyzed sometime last week, it was almost in the at this level, which indicated that it's reaching overbought. So maybe one more day, Monday or Tuesday, we can see little up, but then I am expecting it to fall down further. That's why the stocks which are on TSX, if you are planning to enter, I would suggest to wait for few days, at least till Thursday and Friday, before entering. As if the TSX starts reversing down, then the stocks, mostly mid cap and large cap stocks, would be the ones which would be falling and bring the TSX down. If we talk about NDX, it started low and then climbed up to the mid Bollinger Band. I think we had discussed similar thing last week, and after touching the mid Bollinger Band, it has closed down. But good thing is, instead of opening up and forming a red candle and dropping down, it opened low and then formed a green candle, which is a good indication that we can still hope that on Monday it might still form a green candle. Uh, but if you are already holding any of the NDX stocks, especially mid cap and large cap stocks, keep stop loss set at the opening price of Monday, just in case if it, instead of going up, if it starts going down, you don't lose on the profit that you would have got by getting in somewhere around here. And on weekly chart, if we see, it had dropped and then formed a green candle up, which is a good indication that maybe this 20 EMA might become a support and it might start moving up. If that happens, it's a good indication that this might be the level from where it reverses up. But again, this week is crucial. So let's be cautious and think that the market might not be in our favor. So having stop loss would help us in case if that happens. Any questions? We'll also look at QQQ, which you will observe that has a similar trend as most of the mid cap and large cap have the similar trend. That's why these two indexes you will see has similar trend both on daily as well as weekly chart. And you can see on weekly chart, because of this green candle, both Williams R and CCI have turned upward, and that's what gives me little confidence that hopefully we might see a continuation of uptrend this week. And let's just hope that it continues, because if it breaks this mid Bollinger Band level and if it goes up, then we are on uptrend and it might continue up to this 330 level. Okay, so if we are good on indexes, then let me quickly see TSXV as
Kamal,
some.
one
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Why? I mean, I see in the group there are two indices which you commonly talk, NDX and QQQ. Um, any specific reason why you don't check indices like on S&P, SPX 100 or SPX 500?
Okay, so for TSX, we are analyzing SPX for TSX. For if you
It's QEX, I guess, for S&P 100.
QQQ is, I think you would have seen message from PD as well, Pawan. As QQQ is the index which is being mostly followed by the US market, and that's why.
So, okay, it's OEX. I mean, if you want to check, it's like S&P 100. I just want to know why, I mean, is there any specific reason why you don't consider this?
Oh, SPY, right? So you would have seen every market days whenever Yash is sharing his market updates, he is mentioning about QQQ and SPY. And I am specifically considering TSX and NDX mostly because TSX is for the stocks on Toronto Stock Exchange, NDX for Nasdaq. Although Nasdaq and SPY, since most of the stocks or major stocks are there on the both the indexes, that's why I'm considering NDX. But SPY is also important index to analyze. It's just that there would be too many indexes, but I can certainly include in SPY as well.
No, it's fine. I mean, I just wanted to know, do you have any specific criteria of when you start analyzing it, you pick only these two and perform some kind of analysis on that?
So I see that QQQ and SPY as analysis is shared by Yash, and that's why I'm not uh, sharing the analysis of those two specifically, because I feel that it would be like repetition, and that was the only reason. Otherwise um, I do give emphasis on SPY, and it's totally fair question to ask. Why don't we include that in our analysis? If you wish, we can start including SPY as well.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. For SPY, let's since we are on this chart, we can cover this as well. SPY is on uptrend, and it has reached this over region, but since in CCI it is still close to plus 100, and Williams R is minus 6. Maybe on Monday it might go little up, then on Tuesday it might start correcting, since it's already in over bought region. Yeah, even on weekly chart, since the market was down, so it dropped, but from mid Bollinger Band level of 200 EMA, the market pushed it up. So the SPY has held on in its uptrend. So next week we can expect it to reach close to 400. Like 400, it might touch this week and then correct. Even on weekly chart, it's in over. Okay, fine. I think we will consider these. Any questions on these indexes? If we are good, then let's go on to our stocks. Spurs had requested about LI. So LI has reversed from 8th of March. It has taken uptrend. Both Williams R and CCI are upward, though upper Bollinger Band and mid Bollinger Band is still downward. The lower Bollinger Band, if you see, has started turning up. So if you have entered around either of these two trading sessions at these price levels, you could still hold. And since it has not reached the support at this price, around 3.2 could be a good exit if you are already holding it. I would suggest if you enter this thinking of little longer term, then you can hold by keeping a trailing stop loss, and the final target or the subsequent target could be $4. And if the market trend is upward, you can expect it to reach around $4 in 2 to 4 weeks of timeline. It could be faster, but it all depends if the market trend continues up. Since TSX, I'm expecting TSX might drop, so that might impact TSXV as well. So just uh, keep a watch on the market index. And if you see on the weekly chart, this 3 weeks were down, and last week, as for most of the stocks, the last week was a green candle. So if it continues further, then as an early exit, like I'm just checking if the same level is showing. Yeah, so it reached close to 3 and then it dropped down yesterday, but it has not reached the mid Bollinger Band level of 3.20. So you could set a trailing stop loss at this and then take it further based on how it moves. As you can see, both Williams R and CCI, they are still in a range where it has not reached an overbought position. So it's still good to hold for some more time. And if someone is looking to enter, you could wait for it to drop and buy at this support of 2.33. The support price would be a good entry point for this.
Kamal, one quick query. This tradingview.com, is this real time or there is a lag of 1 minute or 15 minutes in that?
So for US stocks, tradingview.com gives real-time quote. For Canadian stocks, during the market hours, the quotes are 15 minutes delayed.
Okay. And what about Yahoo Finance? Is it real or is it delayed?
Yahoo Finance, even for Canadian market, gives real-time quotes during the market hours. So if you are tracking price during the market hours, Yahoo Finance turns out to be better because you can track real-time price for both. In terms of analysis, I find TradingView is much more comfortable in doing the analysis, mostly because of their chart plotting. Although there are additional indicators that you can add on Yahoo Finance apart from the three indicators that I show here, because TradingView has a restriction of adding more than 3 for the free account. That's why I use Williams R, Bollinger Band, and CCI on TradingView. But on Yahoo Finance, you can add more like EMS. That's why Vivek sir is usually using Yahoo Finance for doing analysis. As you can see, apart from Bollinger Band, there are 3 EMS, additional EMS, which are not there on TradingView. It's 50 EMA, 100 EMA, and 200 EMA. And this mid Bollinger Band is 20 EMA.
Yeah. So, and do you use any other website besides these two? I mean, do you refer investing.com or you never use it?
So if you see investing.com and tradingview.com, they are almost similar.
Similar. Okay.
Yeah. So for US market, tradingview.com is good enough. Although investing.com you can use if you are also trading in Indian market.
Thanks.
If you're more comfortable using a mobile, probably Webull could be a better option.
Yeah. So I personally use Webull mobile app for doing analysis of US stock market during market hours. You will see Webull is quite good in their mobile app for analysis as well as real-time quotes. Again, Webull is like TradingView for Canadian market. The stock price is delayed on Webull for TSX and TSXV stocks. But in terms of charts, you will find it easier to analyze. So Webull is another good app. For those in US, they use for trading. But for us being in Canada, we can only use it for doing analysis. We can't use it for trading.
Okay, there is one catch
Can
with Webull. Like if you have a watch list for the Canadian stock market, in the watch list, whatever price you see, those prices are real time. But if you click on the on your stock and enter it, you will see 15 minutes lag.
Or is it? Maybe I have not noticed. For me, I usually use TSX stocks in my watch list on Webull mobile app, but I haven't seen real time price.
Yeah, I am using Webull a lot, so I'm pretty sure about this.
Mhm. And
In the
we
watch list, you can see the real time price, but if you go into the stock, then you will see a 15 minutes lag.
okay, okay, yeah. So this is there are another desktop app. They have different platforms. This one is HTML based, which Pawan had sometime mentioned last week, and you can add indicators like you do on any other app. So this one is desktop app. There's also a mobile app, and they also have a web based. Webull is also quite good for analysis.
thanks.
I have one question. Can you go back to that previous Bollinger chart which you were showing?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you see, I guess that in month like 2020. Okay, hold on. Yeah. So if you move on the left hand side, yeah. So further right, yeah. So here we see it's a oversold, right? At the price of 1.26. And then if we decide at this point, since it's oversold, let's sell it. But then in couple of weeks we see the price goes up, and again it is shows as oversold. So in that case, like how we can decide whether to sell it before or we can hold it and sell it later on? Because I was not able to understand this particular point. Sometimes it shows oversold at a less cost also.
Okay. So the first point is, if you see at this level, this Williams R and CCI, these are in overbought position. When we
Right.
say overbought, means the price, which the current price is higher than its average price. Okay.
Okay.
And now at this price, these indicators are indicating it's overbought, which
Mm-hmm.
means they might start correcting, and you should exit on a safer side if you want to cash on profits for those who have entered around this price level. When if you see in the indicators, this at this price, the Williams R was minus 86, CCI was minus 115. So
Mm-hmm.
if you would have entered one on the next day at this green candle, because let's suppose you were doing analysis and you saw on this day 14th of December that the indicators Williams R, CCI and um, Bollinger Band, since the candle is almost about to touch lower Bollinger Band, and
Mm-hmm.
Williams R is minus 86 and CCI is minus 115, which is oversold position, and asking you to buy, and you chose to buy next day, which is on 15 December. Let's say its highest price was 100 and its highest price was 1.16. Even if you entered at 1.15, if you manage to enter here and you are here
Mm-hmm.
on 7th of Jan, if you take the lowest price, which is 1.1 1.42 1, okay, you entered here at 1.15 and you are here at 1.42. Just for simple calculation, let's think that you set a limit sell order at 1.45, because your indicators are indicating that you are in overbought position, so you should be selling. even if you sell at 1.45, by entering here at 1.15, you would have made 30 cents profit per share, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the way we have been discussing, and we suggest everyone in the group to utilize Bollinger Band, Williams R and CCI indicators to enter at this range, and once it is in overbought position, to exit. But along with this, to answer your question, that if we see this particular chart, the stock price keeps going up further, which means if we would have exited here, we could have missed these gains, right?
Right. Yeah.
So in order to overcome that, what Vivek sir usually recommends is, when you enter somewhere here, or let's say even you missed entering here, this candle, when
Mm-hmm.
the green candle is moving from under mid Bollinger Band and it crosses mid Bollinger Band up, okay, you enter at this mid Bollinger price.
Okay.
Let's say at 1.25, okay. Once
Mhm.
it enters here, you hold, you would be holding up to this red candle. When the red candle formed moves from above the mid Bollinger Band and it goes under mid Bollinger Band.
Okay.
So this red candle, you enter here and you exit here, which covers this part. If you, for the sake of this discussion, if you entered here at 1.25 and you exited here, let's say even if you exited at 1.90,
And 1.9.
even at lowest price, if you exited, or let's say if you would have kept target as $2, but since you saw here that it's going down, then you kept at lowest price of that day at 1.90 as well, you would have made 65 cents per share, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And which covers its stock movement going up, and then when it crosses mid Bollinger Band downward, that's where you exit. So this strategy helps you to um, make out the profit that it could give you because of this uptrend, though you might lose a little. Like here, highest was 2.5 and you still sold at around $2, so you are losing 0.50 cents. But uh, if you see at your entry price and exit price, you are still above 50% profit.
Okay.
Is that making sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this could be another strategy. Yeah. So what I usually do is, at this price, as I see that it's in over what region, uh, I try to exit partially, because at this point, even I give myself chance that maybe this stock, since it is in on uptrend, it might continue further. So when I exit, I don't exit completely. Let's say here, because this stock price was 1.15 at which we entered, since it is a penny stock, I would take position in at least 1k 2k. I'm just saying, with my example, okay. And if suppose for the sake of discussion I entered at 1k position, then here I might exit only 50%. I would still hold remaining 50% to exit, maybe remaining 25% here or here or here. If I don't exit here, which is also an overbought position, and I start seeing that it has started taking downtrend. But somehow, if I miss these many sessions, I would definitely make sure that I exit here. So this would be like the worst case exit, where if I miss to exit here.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that
got
answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone would like to add anything to this?
Actually, there's one more strategy of putting your stop losses. That basically, once you have taken your entry at your 20-day moving average, crossover from below to up, you move in a manner where you're keeping your previous day low as your stop loss.
Okay.
Right? So what happens is, my previous day low, if that is crossed or that is breached, that means I go below that, I will be exiting my position. So if I had done that, you would have been exiting this position somewhere over here at the red candle, or at the green candle, yeah, on 27th of Jan. Because if you had entered on 20th of December on this candle, on December, the high was 1.27, the low was 1.12. 1.12 has not been breached at all after that. You look at the next day, look at the next day low and all that, and each time you're doing that, you're keeping your previous day low or previous week low, or howsoever, depending upon your risk appetite, and you are trailing your targets. This specifically helps when you're doing a penny stock trading. But this will not work. This will work better if you're doing a regular investment. In penny stocks, these fluctuations can happen very, very frequently. But if you're doing a regular traded stock, such fluctuations will not be that frequent.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Kamal, I was late.
No, sir. It's totally fine. Your input is more important, sir.
No issues. I think you're doing a good job.
Thank you. So I think we covered LI. Shall we move on to Apple? Okay, so Apple dropped considerably on Monday, then pulled back, couldn't reach even up to the 20 EMA. It dropped, highest was 123.21, and then it opened low and got pulled up or moved up. That's a good thing, but still indicators are downward. Williams R and CCI, though CCI is getting little flatter. Mid Bollinger Band, upper Bollinger Band downward, so can expect it to drop down further. If we see on weekly chart, there's still probability of it going downward and might find support at this price around 106 or 109, close to 109. Since this gap is closed, it might find support here close to 108 point something, which is 109. Though at current price on the weekly chart, Williams R is flat, the CCI is still downward. So I feel it might continue downward.
Kamal, I have a suggestion here. It follows exactly the trend of Nasdaq. If Nasdaq is high, this will go up. If Nasdaq goes down, this comes down.
Yes,
For
totally
Apple particularly.
Yeah, Apple and Amazon, you might notice it follows very much similar trend to NDX, and that's one of the reason. Since I usually trade Tesla and have Apple, that was one of the reason why I look at NDX. Sorry, Vivek sir, you were saying something?
The last weekly candle is a doji candle, right? Now 4 consecutive weeks. Now you're currently watching a weekly chart. So looking at a bigger time frame, 4 consecutive weeks, it's a falling week. The fifth one is a doji chart and is an indication that it could come further down. So comfortably 108, 105 is what I'm looking at. Even lower, come lower, slightly lower. Yeah, around 104.90, 105.
Yeah.
I'm expecting it to come down. 108 and 105 is your buying range. Because it's a weekly chart and it is showing a doji, it may come down. Though it's a green doji, but I'm expecting it to come down further. So it will be a buy at 105, 106 for a target over 140, clear target of 135, 140.
Yeah, and it would be a good entry for long term.
Yeah, around 106 would be a great entry to buy. 105, 108, anything between 105, 108. Anything.
Right.
After that, the next support is at 90. 90. Yeah, come on, higher up, higher up, higher up, higher. That's it. 91. 91.50 or 90 or 92. That will be your that can be your stop loss if you want. Your $10 stop loss for a $35 target.
Rama has put, I'll just update. Rama has put, I think, stop loss.
Yeah.
So these are his
105 to 108. That is the range of entry.
Yeah, I was saying 109 just because it, in case it gets.
Yeah, I agree. The range is there.
Yeah.
That's your target.
140.
Yeah. Actual target
145.
145. Actual target. But then I would keep anything between 137. 137 first target, 144 second target.
Okay.
Leave something on the table for the next entry, next retail investor. So I would get out at 144.
Okay.
So 137 first target, 144 second target.
Okay.
Now, let me just tell you why am I keeping 144. Normally, when the retailers enter, small traders, investors enter, they enter at the peak because they have been missing out the chance. So you leave them always $1 or $2 as an incentive for him to enter in. Otherwise, why should he enter in? So leave something on the table for the next trader to take his money out.
Thank you.
Kindly, can you repeat this point? We couldn't get this point.
I'll tell you. What happens is when you're trading, normally retail traders like you and me, we will be entering normally after having missed the bus at the peak of the chart. So normally people would enter in at the highest point. That is where you and me would come in. And then we would cry, look, we entered and the prices have dipped. Now the prices have dipped because we have entered in and the investors, the principal investors have pulled out. When principal investors pull out or they move out of the counter, they leave a few dollars as a bait for the retail investors to come and play. So they would have moved out at about 140 or 142 and left over $2 for the retailers to feel nice. But look, I've entered, the price has moved, not realizing that within the next 2 or 3 days, the prices will dip again. Now exactly what happened over here, where Kamal is showing you 3 consecutive days, price was 143. That is when the big investors were cashing out. They cashed out at 140 and cashing out further. They maintained the price for 3 days and then they let it drop. From 144, it drops to 130. The low is 130.21. A $12 to $13 drop or $14 drop. In how many days? Just 2 working days or 3 working days. A 12% dip for a stock like Apple is quite a dip, even in 2 or 3 working days. And then again, it consolidates. There is distribution further happening. Some more key players are liquidating their positions over here for almost about 2 weeks, and then it drops further. That is the psychology which you have to understand how the big players play in the market. Some big players are liquidated in the top three days. Then the balance big players liquidated in the next 2 weeks. If you count the number of days, it should be about 9 or 10 working days. 12. There are 12 working days. That means almost about 2.5 trading weeks. 5 days of trading in 1 week. You have 12 working days in which the other institutional players were offloading their stock. Now this is called distribution. Now all these 12 days are within the gambit of your last big candle, which is on the 29th or 28th of Jan. Right? Come to your left, Kamal. This candle, which is the 29th of Jan. After that, you just count the number of days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 days is within the same range. That is distribution happening. The other game big players were liquidating their profits and taking their profits out, and then look at the fall. From 130, it falls to almost about 116. So now when you are entering in, you will enter in only now. If you convert this to a weekly candle, you will realize where 108 and 106 was. What are the days of those 106 to your left? Yeah, this one. No, green candle to your left. This one. 21st September. Now this is cyclical in nature. This is 21st September. Expect this in the next week or so. Week or next 2 weeks. It to come down. And once you enter 106, that is where all the big players will be walking in, and that is when you will see volumes suddenly spiking up, as it happened in March. Look at the March weeks. Look at the volume spiking up, 5 weeks of buying. And the prices they bought were at 60. So if he bought them at 60, liquidated at 140, he has made $80 on an investment of $60 over a period of exactly about how many months? Less than about a year. About 10 months.
10 months.
And if you watch this now on a weekly chart, look at the parameters. Where do you buy it at 60? What is the Williams R? What is the CCI showing?
Minus 98 Williams R, CCI minus 1.
Now, both of them are forward indicators. They will let you know in advance that we are about to spike up. 16th March, it tells you a week in advance, I am about to spike. You look at the next week, once again, keep it here only. The low here is 57. Next week low will be lower than 57, 53.15. He tells you a week in advance, I am about to spike. Buy me. Even if I bought at 57, I could be out at 142. 142 will be the largest candle touching the sky. That's it. That's it. 25th of Jan. Now Atul, here you can watch. If I'm buying at this level over here, at the level in March, and keeping my week low as my stop loss, that has never been touched. Now, when you see the wicks, don't take the wicks in account because these are spikes coming in and out. You look at the closings. Never been touched. The week's low has never been touched.
Right, yeah.
Except over here. What is the rate we touched it at? 92.60. Bought at 60 at 92.60 in the month of July. So in about 4 months, I take away 50% profit margin. If you can get better than this, I suggest you open your own stock exchange. You can't get better than this. 50% return in a matter of 4 months on a product, on a stock which is heavily traded. And here, in case if we were using
Renko?
strategy, Kamal strategy, or using Renko, which we were doing, you could convert this to Renko. Yeah, we candle 6 here. You remember the dates? March 20.
Yeah, March 20.
Right? So March 20 was the lowest point. Lowest point of March 20 was?
Yeah, and we would have entered here because of the green candle.
Right. At 64. When it is 64 on 13th of April, go up. The Renko did not tell you to sell at all, except when it comes over here, and he asked you to sell at 125, 124 or at 121. The low was 121.50. Renko did not allow you to sell at all. So I could use my entry point on a candlestick, and I could use Renko as an exit strategy also. Any questions?
No, thanks. Yeah, it's quite understanding now.
Right?
Thank you very much for your points.
Most welcome, Imran.
And sir, you were saying something about partial selling, or
Partial selling.
I mean, my strategy. You were saying something.
हाँ, कमल की strategy होती है ना. कमल की strategy क्या होती है? Take it back to weekly chart, Kamal. Weekly. What did Kamal just tell you earlier? He would touch the Bollinger Band, and at the red candle over here, he would, when it takes a dip, where we were selling that on a trailing stop loss in the month of September, he would sell off in July. Now Kamal would sell what? Kamal would sell 50%. Right? Because of the green candle turning on a weekly basis, Kamal would sell 50%, carry the balance 50% upward, again to be sold back on the top, either here or here. Even if he sells 50% here at 92 and the balance 50 at 125, I think he's more than happy. He will not missing out with $20 or $15 extra profit. He would rather wait and put that money in some other strip over there. So he partially booked at 92, balance at 125. Had this been Kamal working strategy of taking 50% off?
Yeah, I shared an example about GXE in Discord this week.
Very true.
Let's go to the next stop, Fubo. Are we okay with Apple? Yes, Fubo, like other US stocks, moved up sometime this week for 3 sessions. Then on 4th session, opened low but closed higher, which means formed a green candle. But if you see in Williams R and CCI, because it opened low, it's downward. The CCI is flat, and since it has formed a green candle, I think it can continue up further to a support price, could be up to 36. Yes, there's a support at 36. So since
Resistance.
yeah, so this will be the resistance. Previous support will now be the resistance. Here also it was resistance, right? So it at 36 it might find a resistance, since mid Bollinger Band and upper Bollinger Band are downward. So it could probably touch 36 and then start moving further down. You can see how it looks on the weekly chart. Again on weekly chart,
It's weak.
on mid Bollinger Band it crossed up, but it has further room to drop further. So much like Apple, if you are holding it, it would be better to exit at 36 and see how the market trend is, and wait for it to drop and buy at lower price. A good entry price for this could be
24.
24,
50.
right?
24.40, 24.50.
Correct. And with a stop loss at around $20, just under 20, 19 point,
Just under 20, yeah.
19.9 would be a good stop loss for this.
Yes. Where the Bollinger Bands are clearly indicating all three, upper, mid, and lower, are all curved down. So there is a further correction which the Bollinger Band is indicating. Williams R is curved down, CCI is curved down. I'm expecting it further correction down. If you are holding the stock, sell out at about 33, 34. That is the hike which you get. Or if you get a spike of 36, I would say get out and then buy it again at about 24, 20 or 20. Yeah.
24, yeah.
So
Oh,
buy it at 24 or even lower. Or
20.
20 strong buy. 24 or 22
Yeah, 22 looks to be
would be a very strong buy.
with a stop at
So buy
19 point.
19,
Yeah, 19
19 or
point.
20. Yeah.
Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, that's correct. Perfect.
Okay, next
Remove
is
that 39.91. Remove that 39.91.
okay.
Yeah. That's the stop loss, the price and the target. तो वो ठीक हाँ वो भी निकाल दो शॉप लॉस निकाल दो 91 का शॉप लॉस है ठीक है अप्रैल का निकाल दो राइट
Okay. Yes. Next, go to Billy. Billy again was on downtrend, similar to market trend. Tried to move up, but has not moved much. And similar to Fibo, its lower, mid, and upper all three Bollinger Bands are downward. Williams is slightly downward. CCI moved from oversold little up, but has now become flat. So based on Bollinger Band, I would expect it to fall down further.
Oh, clear indication now.
Yeah, it touched mid Bollinger Band on weekly chart and then
Hmm.
got pulled slightly up. But Williams as you can see, it's downward with high slope. So not a good time to enter into this if you're looking to enter. Better to wait for it to fall to a support at around 94.25.
Come lower if you can. Come to 80. That well, just 1 second. Now look at 82 and the previous red candle, green candle. There's a gap
Mhm.
at 82.50 and the previous red candle somewhere in December 2020. There's a gap.
Mhm.
The candle and the big candle up to your right.
Oh, okay, this one.
This gap. What is the doji close?
It's
82.
it closed at
82.45.
yeah
And what opened there of the previous candle?
87.
So $5, $4.5 or $5 gap. That gap has to be filled in. So this, if it falls, that's the buying area. 80 will be the buying area. 80 could be the buying area with a stop at around 70 or 75. Yeah, 25.
75. Okay. So buy at 81.
Yeah. Between 80 and 82. Buy between 80 and 82 and stop of 75.
Okay, Vivek sir, a question here.
Sure.
On the same stock, Kamal, can we go back to the same chart again?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we see the CCI and the Williams
Yeah.
if you can check, they are forming higher lows. So isn't that an indication that the trend is upward?
That only indicates that there is some buying coming in.
Okay.
There is some buying coming in. But if you look at, because of that gap down, even I was tempted to go for it because the volumes are also high in the last 7-8 trading days.
Yeah.
But because the gap down is not very far away, I'm pretty scared.
Oh, okay, got you.
Previous gap down. Cover the previous gap down, not this gap, the previous gap. To your left. This gap.
Yeah.
Because of this gap, I'm feeling very scared.
Okay.
Second, my Bollinger Bands are clear indicating not turning yet. They haven't even turned flat. All three Bollinger Bands haven't turned flat.
Right.
Right? Now, as I explained to you earlier, this could be a process of distribution or consolidation.
Okay. Okay. Got you.
Even if this is consolidation happening, after the consolidation, a small dip is highly possible.
Right.
There was a distribution happening in the first half, in the February first week, first 2 weeks of February, first 2 weeks of February. Yes, yeah. This bracket. There was distribution happening here. There is part consolidation happening now, and there will be further consolidation happening at around 80. When consolidation happens, it happens in multiple phases.
Right.
Because somebody who will deep pockets is in no hurry to enter in. He will wait for you to get exhausted,
Yeah.
wait for you to start abusing the stock. That is when he will enter in.
Right.
When we are entering into a stock and we enter a wrong trade, we tend to curse the stock. Yeah, we have entered and this has fallen. So when the cursing of the stock goes highest, that is when the investor will walk in and buy it.
Right.
So that is the reason why around 80 would be the time when he would now want to enter, because 3 consecutive dojis were there and then it moved up.
Right. Yeah.
Right, so that is the point I'm looking at 80.
Targets.
140, 142, 150, 157.
So
142, 144.
142.
Yeah, I would say 140 because 142 because all wicks over there.
Yeah.
That's why 142.
And then 156.
155, 156. And if you want an earlier target, you can go one step earlier also.
Yeah, 134 is what I was looking
130.
at. Or
Yeah, around 135 or 130, 134, 135. Yeah.
yeah, this was
If you have
135.
$10 run further.
Yeah, 134.5.
Yeah, 134.5, 134. No worries on that. Now, when you give 3 targets, it indicates what the target is going to be. It could take ages to go there. So, as Kamal says, liquidate and take profits home as early as you can. At least part book your profits and take it out.
Okay, so we'll go to next stock, which is AMD. So after a huge sell-off on Monday, it tried to move up. Even on Thursday, it had green and Friday green as well. Williams R and CCI are still, CCI is flat, but Williams R is still up.
Climbing here.
Yeah, so we can expect it to move up further, maybe up to this resistance of, no, this would be quite higher.
186, 187.
Maybe this support might be the first level where we can
The
exit.
20 EMA will be the first resistance.
Yeah,
That's 84. 83, 87, 83.87 is the first resistance.
right.
So another about $3.50, and then of course 86 and 94,
Yes,
and then of course 90, 98.
97. Yeah,
Yeah.
98. Okay, let's quickly check on how is it looking on the weekly chart. Yeah, on weekly chart, it touched the lower Bollinger Band, so we can expect it to move up. As you can see,
Now
Williams
here,
are,
if you look at the weekly chart, the lower Bollinger Band come lower down. Yeah, the wicks on the wicks. It touched the wicks at the rate of about how much? They just come down, slightly down. That's it. Just come down. That's it. At 74. At 74.25, it touched it how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. It touched in September, touched it in November, and touched it again in March. at 74.25.
Yes.
Right? And it is bouncing back each time from here. Now, if you look at this block, it's moving in a block. As Tahir keeps explaining to you, it moves in one square block. Now, this is the block, 74.25 on the lower side. You can draw a horizontal line. 74.25. Or slightly higher up, 74.25 around. That's it. Right? And another horizontal line at about 95 or 96. That's it. Now look how often 95.50 has been touched. Now this is a perfect thing on a weekly basis. If you look at this, now just count the number of weeks. It takes in November, first week. And it touches over here. November first week it touches. 1, 2, 3, 4. In 4 weeks, it's giving you almost $20 return on an investment of $75.
Which is almost 30%.
That's a 1 month. Now, if this is there in futures and options, you could sell and bring it down also.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 6 weeks, it drops down. Now, the day this will cross 97, very, very clearly, the target, upside target is almost going to be at about 125. The box target will move immediately. The lower, the width of the box becomes your target once it crosses 96 or 97. If you look at the high candle which is made in the red and in 21.1, that is 99.23. So minute it crosses 100, very, very conclusively, your next target is 125 blindfoldedly. Blindfolded, you can go for 125. The width of the box is the next target on top. And that's the advantage of taking a weekly chart. You could have never seen this on a daily chart. If you see it on a daily chart, you will never recognize this pattern. Even if you zoom out, you won't be able to recognize this pattern.
Yeah.
Unless these lines have been drawn. Now that the lines are drawn, you are realizing it. Because these lines were drawn on a weekly chart, you are seeing it happening now.
Weekly chart makes it easier to see the actual.
Because you are watching the thing from an aerial view. You take a monthly chart, you get a different view altogether.
That box is so easily recognizable.
Are easily identified.
Shall we say buy and hold for this, or just hold until?
If you have already entered the trade, hold for a target or what you already given to you at about 90, 93, first target at 87, then 93. 87, 90, 93. If you are holding it. 87, 90, 93.
Someone wants to
The
enter.
price will be lower.
Buy price would be again around 75.
74, 75. Buy range is 74, between 74 and 75. I have doubt it will come there now. Not immediately.
Right. For this particular case, do you think this mid Bollinger Band and upper Bollinger Band would start turning, or
It should turn because you look at the lower Bollinger Band, it will already
flatten?
it will become flat. So it should start turning.
Right.
The lower Bollinger Band had turned flat because of the last 4 days of upper movement. Now the red candle which you see, the third last candle, had opened above the previous day, high, went down and again went up. Then went down. So it had strength. It had opened above the previous day high. then went down. And the strength was again seen in the last 2 days. So that is why I'm not expecting it to touch 74 or 75 again. Keep a limit order if you want, but I'm not expecting it to touch down. I could look at an entry price of only 78 now.
Yeah, this price.
Yeah, around 78, just to be on the, if I'm lucky. Or come on, can you take it to the red candle? What is the open, high, low?
This one?
Yeah, just 1 second. High of 80, low of 77. That makes it 157. That makes it 75, 3. Yeah, around 78.50 would be the ideal buying price. It may touch there, 78.50.
Right. And with a stop of
Top of
74.
74.
Okay.
Actually, on a stop of 74, stop of 72. Because 74, if it touches 70, it could touch 74 also. So secure by giving it 72.
Okay.
So $6.50 stop loss and $6.50 on top will give you over $10 first target. $10
Right.
first target and then thereafter. Not a good ratio. Not a very good ratio to work for.
Yeah, we are almost midway in this channel.
Yeah, that is why it's not a very good ratio to work on. But yes, at 74, had I entered, it would have been a beautiful ratio to work on.
Right. So if Rama has correct, if Rama has already entered, it would be good for him to hold for this
Yes,
target.
these targets. If he's already entered, then hold it to the stop loss of 72 for targets of 87, 90, 93.
Right. Okay, so shall we go to the next stock?
Yeah, ask the others.
So we'll go to pins. Similar market trend, had a huge sell-off on Monday and then tried to move up. Opened low on last session but got pulled up. So it formed a big green candle because of which Williams R and CCI has almost turned flat.
But it could not cross the doji of previous day,
Yeah,
close of the previous day.
it was still lower.
2180 and this lower was still not there.
So it could reverse from here itself,
Yes, it could come down.
or at least do you think it might reach?
The green volume also is less than red volume.
Yeah, very true,
Marginally less than red volume.
which shows weakness. Do you think it might reach till this resistance of 74.5 before falling down, or it can?
So it could. Monday you don't know how the market is opening up. If it opens up, it could. 74.5 could be a possibility. Possibly Monday or Tuesday.
Very true. But after that, most likely it would drop down.
It will fall down. I believe the market rallied in the last 2 days because of that $1 trillion impetus by the US government, right?
Yeah, I think it was signed on Thursday, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, so Thursday, Friday it rallied because of that.
And that's why we see green candle on the
The
last
green
session.
candles all over, yeah.
Okay, so but for buying it would be better to wait for it to drop.
Yeah, 62. 62 or 60, yeah, 62 is good. Is a good buying price. 62.50. with a stop at 56.
This would be the stop.
Target series straight up. 81, 88, 81, 90. Even 90.
So 81, 80.
That is why I said 81, 81, 85 and 90.
Yeah.
81, 85 and 89. Not
Eight-
90.
89. Yeah. 90. This will be 56 and 62.5. Okay. Big C.
Is Rama on the call here?
I was thinking maybe we'll cover till Zoom and then we'll go to the stocks which are requested by other members. And if we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
time, then we'll
of
come back.
course. Yeah.
Because Neo and Zoom, I think many members are holding.
I mean, you can pick up Neo directly, na? Pick up Neo and or yeah, you take Big C. Big C also is falling.
Yeah,
Take a quick look on Big C.
Yeah, let's finish Big C.
It's already falling.
Yeah, it's already falling. Williams R, CCI downward.
And go further down to about 52 or 53.
Yes. And
Can you take a weekly chart? No, it's at its lifetime low.
yeah, since it's a new stock, comparatively new stock, it's at all-time low already.
Then all-time low already. So then I would say stay out of this. What are they into? Big C commerce,
Yeah, e-commerce.
package software. Oh,
So
I
because
would
it
not
had,
enter this stock.
yeah, because it had formed this huge green candle in August, 2-3 weeks after it started. Now it's all cooling off and dropping down further. It can further form its low, all-time low. Though it was 51, it can still drop down further.
It can drop further. If you are not holding this, I would not recommend even entering this price now. Because it's a relatively new stock.
Though on weekly chart, somehow it has started moving up, but still better to wait and watch rather than entering at this
When you
price.
look at the 5 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, all 5 weeks down.
Yeah.
Lower lows, lower highs, lower open, lower close. So I really, and it being a new chart, I really would not like to enter the chart unless I see some good results. Something concrete should happen.
And to add to that, it had an earnings release which
Revenue
was
earnings.
bad than expected.
No, I would not. Whatever said and done, I would not.
Okay. So we'll say avoid.
Avoid for now.